The season starts off with a British aircraft carrier exploding, taking the lives of 41 Navy personnel, and as a result, US President Rayburn appoints American diplomat Kate Weiler to act as ambassador in the UK. Kate's first task is to participate in a conference call with UK Prime Minister Nicole Trowbridge and President Rayburn, during which the US President said, and I quote, "If I find out it was Iran, I swear we're going to light that place up," adding tension to an already tense geopolitical situation. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Kate, she is being prepared to take over the role as Vice President of the United States by Deputy Chief of Mission Stuart Hayburn. Not only does Kate find it difficult to adjust to her new role as ambassador, but Kate eventually learns that Gannon, who is the Secretary of State, wants to fire her. And as preparations are being made for a magazine photo shoot, it is revealed that Kate and Hal are getting a divorce, which doesn't look good. Re-image as Oz ambassador. It's during this photo shoot that Hal gets drugged and kidnapped by some Iranian assailants. Kate alerts security, and CIA Chief of Station Idra Park has all hands on deck looking into Hal's disappearance. The kidnappers released Hal after having him speak with Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Russell Shaheen in Tehran, who basically tells him that Iran had nothing to do with the attack on the British vessel. With this new information, during a meeting, Park tries to convince everyone that Iran is not the one responsible for the attack, but no one is buying. During a memorial service, a grieving widow believes that Iran is responsible for the attack, and Prime Minister Trowbridge gives assurances that if Iran is responsible, he will rain hellfire on them. Later, Kate eventually finds out that Hal was involved in a series of phone calls reaching out to Iran and lied to her about it, which leaves Kate to go to try to convince Dennison that Iran is not behind the attack, and having Rayburn meet with Trowbridge is not a good idea given his comments, but Dennison is not budging. Back at Winfield, Hal tells Kate that the vice president is stepping down and that she is meant to replace her. That would also force Kate to stay married to Hal for her image. President Rayburn then lands at their property, and Hal manages to convince Rayburn that Iran is not behind the attack. The president's relief at the news that Iran is not implicated in the attack is short-lived, however, as Kate suggests looking at Saudi Arabia or Russia as potential culprits. Even with this news, the meeting with Prime Minister Trowbridge is still a problem that Kate has to resolve. And as much as Kate is desired for the position of vice president, it's clear that as she does not want to be the little VP, Kate ends up managing to arrange a private meeting between Rayburn and Trowbridge. But it makes matters worse, as Trowbridge's plan is to trick Rayburn into sending US ships as a way to get the US involved. And while it seemed as though Kate was considering the position of little VP, Hal makes matters worse and basically admits that he never wanted to get divorced in the first place, so Kate ends up kicking his ass. Soon afterwards, though, Kate talks to Rayburn and convinces him not to send ships, which later causes a rift between UK and US relations. In a series of strategic moves, Kate sends a cryptic message about trade to the country of Turkey to elicit a response from Iranian intelligence about the attack on the British vessel. Later, during the gala for American businessmen in the UK Prime Minister announced that the US has refused to assist the UK with their mission, further escalating the situation. Due to the letter to Turkey, Iran has not responded, and their ambassador plans to meet with US Foreign Secretary Dennison, but Kate crashes the meeting, much to the ambassador's shock. Kate and Dennison then learned from the frightened ambassador that one of Iran's allies, namely Russia, framed Iran for the attack on the British vessel. And right before the Iranian ambassador dies on the floor of Dennison's office due to a heart attack, he reveals the name of the leader of the Russian mercenary group, whose name is Lenkov. These events have left Kate shaken, which causes her and Hal to share a moment of intimacy, suggesting maybe their marriage can be saved. Afterwards, during a meeting in Dennison's country home, Dennison tells Kate that because Rayburn didn't keep his promise to help, the UK wants to break their alliance with the US. Trowbridge then crashes the meeting and wants to accuse Russia of blowing up the British vessel, but there is no evidence to support such a claim. But Trowbridge wants a response nonetheless. So Kate suggests that Trowbridge should blow up a target in Russia as a retaliatory response. Kate's efforts to present a list of potential targets within Russia was a bluff to get the Prime Minister to back down, but Trowbridge is eager to save his career, so he turns to war. How? Kate and Trowbridge run into each other in the Chevening House kitchen later on that night, where Kate manages to convince Trowbridge to consider the plan which doesn't result in war. But ultimately it was just a waste of time on Kate's part to come up with a new plan, as Trowbridge is dead set on bombing Russia. Park finds it strange that intelligence organizations who, quote-unquote, make it their business to have intelligence are unable to find out who in Russia ordered the attack on the British vessel. But with Roland's help, Kate comes up with a plan to bomb Lenkov troops in Libya, which Trowbridge is on board with, but Gannon is against it. Later on, however, Hal figures out that Gannon wants to be president of the United States. So of course, it wouldn't bode well for Gannon to try to make Rayburn look good. But with Kate's interference, President Rayburn exercises his executive power over Gannon, and the attack on Libya will proceed as planned. While he's in the UK, Kate meets with a Russian ambassador who surreptitiously leads her to an agent that tells Kate where Lenkov will be, essentially handing him over on a silver platter. And during a meeting back in Washington, D.C., Rayburn agrees to work with the British to arrest Lenkov and not attack his fighters in Libya, much to the disappointment of Throwbridge. The attack on Libya will not happen because he was informed of the plan to arrest Lenkov, and yet, strangely enough, the following day he favors it. Dennison and Kate didn't go to Paris in order to gain support for their operation to arrest Lenkov, but they are unfortunately met with resistance, and after Howe delivers a speech on behalf of Kate, she has a conversation where she believes that all along Howe wanted to be Secretary of State and commands him not to have a meeting with Grove, who is a member of the Conservative Party. Kate attends a party where she not only learns that the French government will help with the Lenkov operation, but it is actually an assassination and not an arrest. And after conversing with Dennison, who also thought it was an arrest, Kate makes a startling discovery that the person who stands the most to gain from Lenkov's death is the one who hired him, aka Throwbridge. The season then ends with Rayburn and Hal trying to communicate with an agitated Grove before a car bomb goes off within their vicinity. And guys, that's season 1 of The Diplomat. Hopefully you found this video very helpful. If you did, give the video thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more recaps, and I'll see y'all for season 2. Thanks for watching X-Max. See you in the next video.